Donald Trump says he's going to end the war in Ukraine on day one. How's he going to do that?
He's just going to tell them there ain't no more money. You know, that $157 billion doesn't just pay for weapons. It pays for salaries, daycare centers. I mean, it's paying civilian bills. American public has had a gutful of spending all that kind of money on Ukraine. And frankly, you know, they know the war is lost. I mean, America knows when it's time to go. I'm here talking about Vietnam and Afghanistan and the like. Most Americans are counterintuitive. They reckon that any more money in that direction is going down a rat hole, and they're absolutely correct.
Look, I want to talk to you about what has been happening in America. SpaceX's Starship rocket blasted off on its latest test flight this week. President-elect Donald Trump joined Elon Musk to witness the spectacle firsthand. Let's take a look.
3, 2, 1.
Elon Musk says he wants to see Starships travelling to Mars with the aim of creating a self-sustaining colony over there. Look, what do you make of the bromance between Musk and Trump, and what impact is this going to have on the future of space?
Well, I think President-elect Trump is really fascinated by technology. Look, I was a kid, too. I grew up with Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers and talk about going to the stars and all the rest of it. You know, you never quite get over the thrill of seeing those rockets take off. And of course, Musk has developed a way for them to come down and save most of the rocket with these sort of chopstick motions with these machines. I mean, it's a fascinating show. And Trump is all about this kind of spectacular thing. I mean, this idea that we're going to Mars. Imagine what it would cost to get there and what you'd be doing when you got there. I mean, it's just outer space stuff. But I think the president is fascinated. Now, look, Musk is an interesting character. I remember when he was having a launch problem, he tried to launch 9 times in a row before he finally got it. Most people would give up. But look, he's a billionaire. He's a big contributor to Trump. His ex, or the former Twitter thing, is now, it's a big deal, you know, as millions of people now are able to get access to Trump who didn't want to go to his own social media, et cetera. And so Musk has made himself a player. Why? And of course, he was a Democrat a couple of years ago, so he's going with the power. Now he's in charge of sort of a non-governmental efficiency unit. He and another guy are going to go in there and try to save billions of dollars.
That's right. Elon Musk is heading Doge with Vivek Ramaswamy, tasked with making the government more efficient. Here is Vivek Ramaswamy speaking about it.
The Pentagon has just failed its 7th consecutive audit, nearly $1 trillion of budget. They can't even tell you where it goes. So I think part of this is exposing for the public the extent of that rot and waste, but then to take steps first through executive action and then laying the groundwork for broader change through legislation as well to rein in that deficit, to rein in that budget. And more crucially, Maria, I know we're talking about this in terms of efficiency, but there's something deeper going on here. This is about restoring self-governance and accountability in America as well.
Just how much is this going to shake things up?
Oh, a great deal. Look, going after waste in government has always been an American pastime. When I was younger, there was a senator from Wisconsin, I think his name was Proxmire, who used to name the greatest waste each year, you know, and he'd have these incredible items that he'd talk about. And I think one time there was a $22,000 toilet seat in the Pentagon, one seat he was talking about. So, you know, going after the waste is not a bad idea. Of course, what they want to do is they want to get rid of a lot of public workers, public civil servants. So they're going to tell people, look, you can't work from home anymore. That remote thing is out. And they're going to try to move some of those organizations that they're responsible for out of state. So people in the Washington area would have to go to Keokuk, Iowa if they want to continue. They're not going to do that. So they have ways to do it. Look, it's very American to try to cut the waste. At the same time, it's also very American to be very wasteful at the federal level. I mean, the federal government spends money it doesn't have, and when it doesn't, can't pay the bills, you know, it just prints more money, as a matter of fact. So, look, I think it's very interesting, but I don't think it's going to last very long. I mean, the one thing that Musk and Trump have in common, they're both typical alpha males. And, of course, the last time Trump was in office in 2016. He surrounded himself with alpha men and women, and pretty soon he fired all of them because, you can't. How many alphas can you have in the room? How many people can be right? But I think bringing Musk on at the last minute was very interesting, and it might have even tipped the scale.
That's an interesting point. Look, Donald Trump has confirmed that he plans to declare a national emergency and use the military for the mass deportations of immigrants who are in the country illegally. We have heard today that Oklahoma Republican Governor Kevin Stitt says that his state is creating a plan to deport criminal illegal immigrants who are in custody in state prisons. And this is, of course, a boost to the president-elect's plan. How do you see this working?
Well, what they're going to do is first they're going to go after illegal immigrants who are sitting in American prisons and county jails. These are people who have committed crimes and they have no business in America. They shouldn't have been there in the first place. So he's going to get rid of them, and he's going to probably federalize the National Guard. He's not going to bring in regular army. I mean, he's going to use the reserves in each of these states. He could, as a president, he could do that. In the 60s, when I was at university, presidents were always federalizing the National Guard to stop rioting in Chicago and New York and Watts and things like that. So that's pretty common. But look, he's going after a lot of people, and it's unprecedented. But look, we probably have 11 to 20 million American illegal residents in the United States. Now, keep in mind, the only reason that Americans have put up with all this nonsense over the years is because California growers want someone to pick the grapes and the lettuce. Same thing in Washington and in Chicago. They want someone to watch the kids. They're looking for for people to work the gardens and do the home watch. This cheap labor is part of the American fabric. And so, that's why the floodgates have been left open for years and years, because a lot of these people do the work that Americans don't want to do anymore. They don't want to pick grapes. They don't want to pick cabbage or lettuce and that kind of thing. So, but I think getting rid of the criminals, and I've written about some of these criminals on death row, and they shouldn't have been there in the first place. And people would say, well, they're no different from the general population. Well, I tell you what, if you don't have a driver's license, you shouldn't be on the road. And if you're in a lethal accident, you're going to go to jail, and probably for a long period of time. So this was unexpected. And of course, a lot of these immigrants are coming in, Gabriella. They're facilitating all kinds of drugs and arms and human trafficking. I mean, there are all kinds of sad, sad tales attached to this. I think it's a good instinct to get rid of people who shouldn't be there.
Dean of Global Futures at Curtin University, Professor Joe Siracusa, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.